When NWA came out and they said F the police, we was like, yo, you can curse in your rhymes?
Yeah.
This is what you can stand up for what you want to talk about in your rhymes? Everything changed in hip hop because now it's like, okay, let me speak about the hood. Let me speak about what I'm going through, the angst, the anger. The mad face came about. So NWA had a lot to do with the formation of how we was coming at the game.
Big Boy's
Big
neighborhood.
Boy.
Alrighty now, man. It's legendary up in
Yes,
here right
it
now, bro.
is.
Fredro Starr, welcome to
Welcome,
the neighborhood, bro.
Thank you.
Man,
Bless.
move back, mother. Fredro is here. Back the. Hey, man, welcome to the neighborhood, bro.
Thank you.
Let me tell you, man, you are a veteran and relevant at the same time, bro. And it's such a pleasure to sit you down, bro.
Come on, man. This is, like I said, this is legendary. I don't think this has ever happened. I
Right.
think this is like once in a lifetime right now. So this is, I'm going to capture the moment, bro.
Hey, man,
is
you
dope.
gonna capture it, man. Let me tell you, bro. I've been in radio 31 years, right? Professionally. And I think this is the first time, as far as sitting down, having a conversation, I think, and I even asked our producer, I think this is the first time, man, but we've seen each other in passing. Always good vibes, always love. But it's crazy that this is like so when you came up on like my, hey man, Fredro wanna come in, I was like, definitely.
Right.
Definitely,
and we,
man.
And we got the ball heads.
Yeah, and we were rocking them, and we've been rocking them by choice.
Exactly.
For many a years, man. Fredro, is there a picture that exists of you with hair?
Yeah, I did the movie Strap.
Okay,
The
so
first
Strap,
movie,
you grew it out.
After that, the hairline went crazy.
Yeah, okay.
It went back that way.
So for hey,
I'm
man.
going back to
Yeah,
Cali.
yeah, man, mine. I always say, man, like, no, I got a cool hairline. Then my daughter was like, Dad, right here, and I'm like, you want to be homeless? You know, but let me tell you, man, the reason why I feel like it's such an honor to have you in the neighborhood, man. You were one of those people that when Onyx hit, right? You know, I used to bodyguard the Pharcyde.
Yeah.
And so the bodyguard and the Pharcyde, bro, our sound checks was back to up.
Word?
We would do
Really?
slam and we would all trade verses. Like
Get outta
Imani would, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Booty Brown Lips. So that was like a soundtrack to our lives because y'all had got on and then we came just a little bit behind.
Yeah.
But y'all were killing it.
Wow, I didn't know that, man. That's crazy because I see Fat Lip. He's DJing right now. He's doing the 5 mics with Raz Kaz and all of them. Will I Am and all of that. And Sean and all. So that's a dope spot too in LA.
Yeah, because you guys just did it, right?
Yeah, we
Because I
just did
saw
it.
you.
Yeah, it's every Thursday in LA.
Yeah.
It's dope, man. I love that spot because it got that real hip hop vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout to the Pharcyde, bro. Did they just go platinum?
Yeah, Pass Me By just went platinum.
That's
Man,
dope.
you
That's
tapped in
dope.
on everything,
Come on,
huh?
everything, man.
Can't get nothing bad. He gonna be
on,
like,
man.
hey, big, go check your sugar levels. Like this dude know everything, man. But that's just one of those things, bro, where we have this thing called hip hop that is so precious to us, bro.
Right.
That it's almost like, man, you don't want nobody to F it up either because the time and the blood, sweat, and tears and what we and what you guys put into it, it can't be. There's a different kind of passion for what you guys did collectively as Onyx and what you guys did as individuals.
Right.
You know, had you always been into like hip hop?
Always.
Yeah.
Since like I came up, B Street was my movie.
Same.
And there was this kid named Lee in B Street. He was
Yes.
like the cool kid. He was fly. I wanted to be him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then we met Jam Master Jay, got down with Run DMC, got with Def Jam. So it was like a dream, bro.
Yeah, but when you say it, you say it quickly. But there's so much in between that. Even between B Street and Run DMC kind of getting on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was a child of B Street as well. And with B Street, that just opened me up to something that was just like crazy. Because growing up, I'm pretty sure growing up, and I ask everybody, you had music in your household. Right? Who did you have in the household like that was with family as far as like, what did you hear growing up?
Well, my mom's, she was always playing music on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sunday you have the music blasting. She got, you know, the Patrice Rushen, you know what I'm saying? She got the Luther Vandross,
Yeah,
you know,
man.
the Teddy Pendergrass and all of that. And my mom's even dated this guy from BT Express.
Oh, man.
Yeah. He was coming through.
You thought you was on in, huh?
He wasn't sticking around long enough, but that kind of. But I had his album cover, and I was like, "Wow, this dude is in my house."
Yeah,
So
man.
it kind of was like it could be. It kind of like was the first time I saw like a superstar and kind of like reality that this could happen. But I started doing graffiti. got arrested doing graffiti. Then I was like, you know what? I like graffiti, but I ain't trying to go to jail to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then I tried to do the breakdancing. I never could do my windmills.
So a child of hip hop though.
All the way through.
Yeah,
all
man.
elements. All elements.
That's the way I was too, man. I just love what it was, and I was like, man, I was everything. I DJ'd, I breakdanced, I rap, I did anything.
Yeah.
I threw everything up against the wall.
Everything.
And it's crazy. And the reason why I ask you, what were you listening to? Because once hip hop came, like you had music, but hip hop was like, I tell people it was ours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my mom playing Commodores and my mom playing anything else. I love it.
Yeah.
But hip hop, my introduction to that,
Curtis Blow.
yeah, man.
Curtis Blow. And, you know, that was the song, like, Curtis Blow was the kind of like the first guy on radio that I heard, like, yo, who's this guy? You know what I'm saying? If I Ruled the World and all of that.
Right.
That was.
So you early on probably with the breaks and everything
all
too,
of
though.
that,
Yeah,
all of
man.
that. I'm from that era.
Yeah,
you know what
man.
I mean? I'm from that era, like the real hip hop era. Like, you know, I was going to 42nd Street when I was 15. That was like the ill mecca of hip hop in Manhattan. And I was a little kid, and my neighbor was older than me. My father trusted him to take me to the city. So he would take me to 42nd Street, and I would see all the guys with the Kangos and the Adidas. I was like,
Remember when hip hop had a look?
It had a look.
Like, because you could see somebody from across the way, and you could strike up a conversation because you knew what it looked like.
Yes.
And everybody wasn't on. I love what it is now.
Yeah.
You know, but I remember years ago, Fredro, I was rolling to a concert, right? And I looked at the crowd, and no disrespect to anybody that love hip hop now.
Right.
But I'm telling you from an experience, I was like, if I didn't know what concert I was going to, you wouldn't even believe that I was going to go see Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Because what the crowd looked like.
Right.
Now, when there were certain times where hip hop looked a certain way.
Yeah.
Hip hop dressed a certain way.
That's right.
And you saw this thing from across the room that was like, we're on this level.
That was it was pure.
Yeah.
It was at the early stage. It was just, you know, Jam Master Jay, who put us on, I always call him the architect of hip hop, because
Yes,
he kind
sir.
of like gave you the design of hip hop with the Adidas, the
Yeah, man.
Kangos. Like, he put Run DMC, he made them cool. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
Jam Master Jay, I gotta always give it up for Jay, because he is the architect. You know, he's the godfather
Yeah,
of hip hop.
man. Because even when you look at Run DMC and you look like, man, you know, the outfits, the hat, the shoes.
Right.
Because we were at a point where hip hop had wardrobe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you look at Grandmaster Melly Mel, the Furious Five, and you know they had spikes and chains, and that was hip hop.
Yeah.
But then when Jay was like, no, this is how we dress.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it was like, I could do that too. I can go get me a pair of Adidas with no shoestrings in them. I can only get one though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I wasn't gonna rock out and, you know, wear spikes and chains. And,
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So
right.
it brought hip hop to where it was like, okay, I can do this as well.
And they was doing that on the West Coast too, right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
It was going
yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
right?
Because we had a certain look as well. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? And
right.
then you got to think a lot of the stuff that we had was early on Curtis, Run DMC, you know, the one episode of Graffiti Rock, you know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
Like those kind of things. Then when we got our own, when we started getting like, you know, the Ice Teas and
Oh,
the
yeah,
King
Breaking
Tees.
came
and,
through.
yeah, so it was just one of them things that you fell in love with, bro.
Yeah, shout to Ice-T, man. He been on TV longer than anybody
Yeah,
in
yeah.
hip hop. You know what I mean? He was the first. Actually, Ice-T, he's the first guy to actually show love to me in the West Coast. Like, he was letting me go to his crib, everything. Like, Ice is a G, man, for real.
Hey man, but you know what? One thing that I love about you guys, as far as like Onyx, I remember years ago, man. It was a smaller club, and I saw y'all come and perform, and I think it was Unity with Bigger B.
Remember
And
those joints?
yeah, man, and it was just one of those things where LA was waiting on y'all to come.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you guys had given us something with the look, the sound,
Yeah.
you know, and you got to think, man, like, and somebody could say, oh no, we was moving around like that. We was moving, but we weren't slamming like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
weren't in pits like that.
Right, right.
We wasn't encouraged to, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was just a whole different vibe that y'all came with, and that we still continue to see to this day.
No doubt.
What, you know what I'm saying? Like where these blueprints of what people are doing now and what these architects are.
Yeah.
You know, and you start to see like, where did a lot of this come from?
Like I say it all the time, I see like Travis Scott
Yeah.
or Playboy Cardi, they got this thing they be raging. You know what I mean? Like, guys, we started this slam movement. We didn't start it really, like, we just put it on the map because we made a record called Slam.
Yeah.
But it really started from Bad Brains, these kids from Washington. They really started, if you really want to do the research, because I got actually a documentary about slam dance culture in hip hop.
Right.
I really give you the real rundown, and the Beastie Boys and the Run DMC
Right.
and these guys and Anthrax and all of this crazy stuff. But yeah, we put it in hip hop for real, for real.
Yeah, hell yeah, you did. Yeah, I would play it outside. I'm like, man, I ain't going in there. You know what I'm saying?
It still go hard right now. It's
Hey,
still
man,
crazy.
from being a spectator and a lover of hip hop, when did you start saying like this is something that I can do? And I'm talking about before like Jam Master Jay.
Well, I know the exact moment. It was the exact moment I was in Queens, South Jamaica, Queens, and it was Baisley Park, and Grandmaster Vic was the DJ. He put a record on called Lottie Dottie. We like to park. When I heard that record, I just seen people's faces. Everybody was happy. They was smiling, and I said, I want to do that. I want to make people happy with music. I want people to smile and feel good with music. In that moment, I wanted to be a rapper.
Damn. And you knew it.
I knew
There's
it.
just something that you like. You know exactly when you get that injection.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy that you could be over in New York feeling lottie dottie.
Yep.
And I'm in LA feeling lottie dottie
Yeah.
and the show.
That was that
And
joint.
yeah, man. And it just showed you what great storytelling is. And it was all inclusive.
Come on, Snoop did it over.
Yeah, hell yeah,
So
he did.
you know it was on the West Coast if the dog do it over.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
Snoop
saying?
did that. The Vapor, Snoop don't mind like paying homage. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
no doubt.
And now you look at Dog, and Dog is the guy, a top guy, a made man.
No
You know what I'm
doubt,
saying?
no doubt. We came in the same era, 93.
Ain't that crazy though?
Yeah, the first tour, we was on a Chronic tour. Onyx was on a Chronic tour with Dr. Dre, Snoop, Onyx, everybody. Like, that was the crazy tour. Shout the Boss. The girl rapper, she was on the tour.
Yeah.
And even
Boss
Lil
from
Bow.
Detroit.
Yeah, she was on the tour.
She just recently passed.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
Rest in
Yep.
peace, the Boss. And Bow Wow was the little kid on the tour.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, what was that tour life like? Because you got to think, man, we didn't have cameras back then.
Right.
Nothing was documented really. You know what I'm saying? You can still have fun. And,
No, it was big, man. Big stadiums, man. Dr. Dre and Snoop, they had the ill move. They had a movie before they come out. It started like a movie. Then they came out on stage to the movie. It was crazy, and we just had turntable.
Right.
Microphone. Like we was just on a come up, but we was making it happen, and we was on tour with Run DMC.
Yeah.
And they showed us a lot too.
How crazy is that, man, to be kind of ushered in? Because Jam Master Jay, we call him like an architect, right? How crazy is that y'all go to the top dogs that presented, in a sense, presented a lot of what you've seen in hip hop to the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How crazy is that to be ushered in and see those people? Either you're riding on a bus, you're in an office, you're in a hotel lobby, like, dude, they're hip hop.
I mean, when you're a rapper coming up back in those days, there was no, it's like you said, no Instagram, no YouTube. You had to really get it and meet somebody to make you a star. You know what I'm saying? So we met Jam Master Jay. It changed my life. You know what I'm saying? The first time I went to Def Jam, I saw Flavor Flav come out the office. He was like, yo, Onyx.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, Flavor Flav knows who we are.
Yeah, man.
Wow, this is crazy. Like, Def Jam was the biggest thing. Going back to, you had LL Cool J, the Beastie Boys, and now we are part of this big structure.
And this is Def Jam.
Def Jam. We had the Def Jam jackets,
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? And kind of like Onyx kind of revamped Def Jam. We gave Def Jam a new life, as far as the new artists that was coming in, Redman, Onyx,
Yeah, man.
the Method Mans, the Warren G's, you know what I'm saying? We gave Def Jam the new budgets. So the guys like Jay-Z and DMX and Ja Rule, they got the fresh budgets off of our blood, sweat, and tears. To tell you the truth, if you really want to talk about negotiating on a negotiating table, Leo and Russell Simmons was using our name to go get that 80 mil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it was just great to be a part of that.
Hey, man, and when you become a part of something that's, Def Jam is like hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And do y'all know the responsibilities or how big that is at that moment?
Yeah, we knew. We had Def Jam on our back. We had the jackets on, and we was like, yo, we coming through Onyx, Def Jam, you know what I'm saying? Tours, all of that. So we knew the responsibility. Not even only that, we was representing Queens. Southside Jamaica, Queens. We had the whole Queens on our back and the whole New York on our back. So we was just representing.
Hey, man, when you go and even before signing with Def Jam, and when we think of Onyx, was there any groups or any other, before y'all said we're Onyx, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was there any other group names, or how does Onyx come together?
Yo, when we came up, when we put Onyx together, it's in his book too. I got a book back there.
Man,
Onyx. So
I gotta, and I wish I would have read that before we sat down.
I wish this is crazy, right? A lot of details.
Yeah.
But on that question, we had a lot of names, but it was Onyx by Onyx. it was like kind of weird a little bit because we came up with the De La Soul era.
Right.
Tribe Called Quest. We had dreadlocks.
Damn.
We had the wild clothes. Like we was fitting in time with what was going on.
And the group name at that time
was Onyx by Onyx.
Onyx by Onyx.
Onyx by Onyx. Rest in peace to Big DS, one of the family
And how
members.
was it? How was it spelled then?
It was Onyx by Onyx, like BY.
Right.
So it was
but
Onyx
the same
by
way we
Onyx.
spelled y'all spelled Onyx as a group.
Yep.
Oh wow.
And we just dropped the by Onyx and just made it Onyx when NWA came out. When NWA came out and they said F the police, we was like, yo, you could curse in your rhymes?
Yeah.
This is what you can stand up for what you want to talk about in your rhymes? Everything changed in hip hop because now it's like, okay, let me speak about the hood. Let me speak about what I'm going through, the angst, the anger. The mad phase came about. So NWA had a lot to do with the formation of how we was coming at the game. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and Onyx by Onyx was a little different.
Yeah,
really though.
Yeah, we had a first single. If you Google it, it's called Onyx, and we had a single called I, and we do it like this on Profile Records. That style is totally different from the style we got with Jam Master Jay.
Really,
totally.
So
different.
where do y'all find that voice at? Was it always in you, but y'all didn't know that y'all could do it? Like how you say, like, man, we saw NWA, and it's not no sloppy carbon copy. You just like, man, wait, hold on, we could do.
Hip hop was changing.
We could do that.
Hip hop was changing. You had leaders of the new school, like you said. Pharcyde was listening to us.
Yeah,
we was listening to leaders of the new school,
yes,
Gangstar,
yes, sir.
NWA. We put all that together to make kind of like a combination of what we was doing. You know, we saw, okay, they doing that. We gonna do it better.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And
like
do it this way.
Yeah, very competitive though, and we always was saying we gonna do it better. Yeah, we want to do it better. And that gave us the energy. And then Jam Master Jay was, like I said, the architect. He put everything together. He put Sticky Fingaz in the group because Sticky Fingaz wasn't.
Is that your relative?
That's my cousin. That's my cousin. My mother and his mother are sisters.
Oh, wow.
So, but we grew up as brothers because our mothers always lived close enough where I could go to his mother crib and borrow some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, go to Harry house, go get that $20.
Sticky Fingaz wasn't Sticky Fingaz?
No, his name was Tropical.
Damn.
He was rolling with
so Tropical Trop from Onyx by Onyx.
Trop turned to Sticky Fingaz.
Damn.
Sticky Fingaz was born.
Hey man, it may sound crazy, but see how God works. You see how all that just like, you know what I mean?
It's crazy, man. And Jam Master Jay, I always say he was kind of like he kind of put it together. Cause he heard a song with me and Sticky. We did a song called Stick and Move. And I was telling your peoples, we kind of big Gangstar a little bit because they had a song called Stick Up Kids, It's Out the Tax.
Yeah, man.
So we made our version called Stick and Move, Stick and Move. But it was kind of like the same thing. Cause we kind of like took a little bit, you know, we kind of borrowed a little style from that. And Jam Master Jay heard that record and was like, who is this Sticky Fingaz kid on this record? I was like, that's my cousin Tropical. You know, he's like, who is this Sticky Fingaz kid? I'm like, that's my man Tropical.
So his name wasn't Sticky Fingaz. He said it in the.
He just said it in the song.
So Jam Master Jay referenced him by the lyric.
Yes. Because my name was Mickey Billy in the song. It was Sticky Fingaz and Mickey Billy. Like we was just making some stuff up. You know what I mean? It was just like a story, you know what I mean? And Jam Master Jay kept calling him Sticky Fingaz.
Right. Who's this Sticky Fingaz?
I'm like, his name was Tropical. He's like, nah, Sticky Fingaz. And that's how it all started.
And that's the genius of Jam Master Jay.
That's the genius of Jam Master Jay.
Man, did you trust in what he was saying?
He was a god to me.
Yeah, man.
You know, when I saw Jam Master Jay, he was a god. And when I met him, he was so genuine because he didn't have a record deal at the time. He just wanted to smoke some weed with us. Mm-hmm. We're like, that's how we met. We was smoking trees. Now weed is legal. I can say that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Jam Master Jay just wanted to smoke with us. We wanted to smoke with him, and that's how we met. Or for marijuana.
Damn.
Yes. So I've been a marijuana advocate forever.
Yeah. And when people say that's the gateway drug, you're like, hell yeah. It's a gateway to a beautiful career.
Hey man, you know, word.
So when you go in and now Tropical is now Sticky Fingaz, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when y'all formed the group Onyx, what did the music started to sound like? Because it started to take on its own.
Well, that's a good question because we met a producer named Shy Skills, rest in peace. We met him. His beats was dope, but it sounded like Tribe Called Quest. He was getting a lot of jazz samples and, you know, the Pete Rocks.
And that was a hell of an influence at that moment, too.
But the producers like Pete Rock, Large Professor, they was the guys at the time, you know what I'm saying? Primo at the time. And Shy Skills was just as good. We said, Shy, won't you take that sample and tone it down a couple of decibels, make it darker. And when he did that, we found our sound. Like, we took all the samples and we was just turning it lower key. So it was like Tribe Called Quest had the low end theory. We had the lower end theory. Like, our bass was more bassy and more darker, and that gave us the sound for records like Throw Your Guns, Shifty, Slam, Judgment Night. Like, all those records were just dark. Back to F Up. Those records, those samples, we toned them down. And we created our own world, our own sound. We came with the Mad Face logo. Jay was like, yo, where's y'all logo? EPMD got a logo. Public Enemy got a logo. Where y'all logo? And we thought about it. We came with the Mad Face, one of the illest logos in hip hop right now.
You can look at that to this day and know exactly what it is. There's some logos that you can look at. And I'm not just talking about in hip hop.
Right.
You can look at McDonald's. I know what that, but if somebody just said this, I would say Onyx.
Yeah, you know it. Because it's like I said, we needed a logo.
Yeah, so I know Public Enemy logos as soon as I see it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the Pharcyde, I know it because it says the Pharcyde too. but you know what I'm saying? But
No
there's
doubt.
just some things where it was just this look. And like I say, man, one of my first times seeing you guys perform, it was no stage. You know what I'm saying? And then when y'all came with that move back, motherfucker,
I remember
the
that.
Onyx is here.
I remember that.
Back the fuck up.
I remember that.
And it was LA and was in that motherfucker. And everybody was like this.
I remember
For no
that.
reason.
It's in the book.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah.
Because as soon as you heard it, when y'all start saying grimy, and you felt that shit.
Word.
I'm feeling it now. Why am I like this? You know? I'm trying to smile and shit. No.
Yeah. You know what? It was that time too. Rodney King.
Yeah, man.
You know, it was right before that. A lot of things was going. We was coming up through the crack era.
Yeah,
They
man.
put this crack thing in the ghetto. That was taking our family members. A lot of close ones
Hell yeah.
was dying over that. And we was a lot of things going on in the ghetto at that time. And we just put in our music. You know what I mean?
Fredro, when did you see it? You know how there's sometimes when you're like, if it wasn't on the radio, so when you saw something and you was like, oh shit, something's going on here.
Yeah, I saw it early. Like I said, I went to 42nd Street at 15, man.
I'm talking about for Onyx.
Oh, when I saw it for Onyx was when we went into Def Jam and we saw Russell Simmons.
So you knew it was something different.
I knew we had something. I knew it was a lot of people in that room, and it was they was there for a reason. And I was like, yo, the music we making is, because when you making music, you don't know how powerful it is.
Right.
You don't know where it's reaching. You don't know where it's going. Who's hearing your music. You don't know. And when you walk in the streets and people bumping their horn and they saying, yo, what's up? That's when you know, because you getting it from the streets. You getting it from the gutter. You getting it walking down 125th Street. They telling you they love you. You walking down Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn, they telling you they love you. That's when you know. And that's what I did it for. I didn't do it for nothing else but to make people smile. That's what I did it for.
Hey, man, did you look at a crowd one day and said, man, they here to see us? Because even when you look at certain things, man, y'all had a look. Y'all had a sound. Y'all even had people cutting their hair that had great hairlines.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like, I know you looked in the audience and you saw at first 10 Onyx, 100 Onyx, and then there was a look that people came, because I saw it.
The black skinheads.
Yeah, man. And everybody cutting their hair and, wearing black and baggy, and it was just this look.
It was we created our own world, even with the spelling of the album.
Yeah.
Back to F Up. The way we spelled it, the way we was looking, the ball heads, the logo, just the way we was coming at it, like you said, the baggy pants with the camouflage.
Yeah, man.
And we was getting that camouflage look from the drug dealers in Queens. They was wearing the camouflage and the Supreme team. We was just looking at what they was wearing, and we put that into music. You know what I'm saying? So we was just, everything around us was making that first album. Everything to the laws, to the mayor, to everything, to the girl I was dating, to everything made that album. And from that album, it just was, the rest was history.
Did it feel like y'all was making like a legendary album?
We knew it.
You felt it?
We knew it. We had the producer shot skills. We had Jay. We had the energy. We knew it. We had the skills. We know it, and we like to say the skills. Like, we've been in a lot of or a lot of battles that we lost, on stage, and the other guy wins. We've been through all of that. We've been through the park jams. We had the training. We put our 10,000 hours in. You know what I'm saying? Even before we met Jay, I was rocking Baisley Park as a little kid. You know what I'm saying?
So y'all were ready. You say all we need is the opportunity.
That's it. And once we got it, we just was like, we ain't gonna stop. And then if you know New York, we live in Queens. If you live in Queens, it's kind of Queens got their own little thing. Queens, I always say Queens to me is like Compton. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when you go to Manhattan, that's where everything is happening. And we was crazy. We was going to Manhattan because we knew that's where it was at. We know we go to the club, we gonna see Brand New being at the club. We go to the club, we gonna see De La. So we was in the club with the hip hop stars, and we ain't even really was on yet, but we was already rubbing elbows with them, and they knew who we was.
That's when you say that 10,000 hours, that outliers, like, oh yeah, we soaking this up.
Yeah, we was in there with them already, like, so they had to like, yo, who these kids, like, you know what I mean, coming up. And then we got with Jay, it was like, okay, we the same kids y'all knew already. You know what I'm saying? We already did all that.
And y'all were ready for it too, though, bro.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man, because it was such a time, you know, because now, you know, there's a lot that goes on now, and there's so many different ways to consume product.
Right.
You know, you either streaming, however you get it. And now everybody can just say, man, you know, F the labels, I am the label.
Right.
You know, and they could just put it up then. But you look at that, man, there was, when you heard Onyx, you knew that was Onyx. When you heard Public Enemy, you knew it was Public Enemy. When you heard Big Daddy Kane, insert any name, and you knew it was them.
Original.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be different. If you sounded like that, we gonna sound like this. You know what I'm saying? We might take a little bit, but we gonna switch it up. And that's how it was back in the days. Everybody was like you said, Big Daddy Kane and Rakim and
man.
Everybody was different. Nobody had the same style. And that what made it beautiful. That's when hip hop was original. It was just pure, man. It was just in a growing state.
Hey,
you know
man,
what I'm saying?
Y'all look like Onyx, though. You know how some people say, like, man, we're going to put this group together because Sticky Fingers look like Onyx.
Yeah.
You know?
They call me Sticky Fingers every day. Yo, Sticky. I be like, what up?
Right. Oh, my God, yeah.
That's cool, you know what I mean?
Hey, man, but when you look at them and how y'all would do y'all faces, then Sticky Eye, I'm like, this dude should be in this group.
Right.
Because there was just a look that made it seem like even more intriguing, bro.
Right.
And then when y'all got on stage,
it was energy.
it was over.
A lot of energy. Jay said you gotta have more energy than everybody. He said this is gonna separate you from the rest of the rappers. You gotta have more energy.
Yeah.
And when you put that battery in our back, you hear the records, throw your guns in the air. Like the energy in that mic booth was on 1,000. You know what I'm saying? And we had a little help. You'll read how we had help, but we just wanted to be louder than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to be louder than Leaders of the New School.
Right. Hey, man, what does that do with your vocal cords?
Well, my vocal cords, I'm still, mine's is still, I'm still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do 1,000 shows. Matter of fact, we got a show in Miami coming up, you know, and on the 24th. They told me to do the drop. But anyway, listen, we still do shows worldwide all the time. My voice is still solid.
Yeah.
Sticky.
Yeah, because Sticky was a little lower too. He's more.
Yeah. So he put a lot of, you know.
But you know what? We saw that too with Run DMC.
Yeah, DMC.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With DMC, it was like you give so much to the game.
Right.
That, man. And who would, you know, you knew that y'all was making something legendary. But as young men and kids, we not thinking we're going to be doing this for 30 plus years either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's 32 years right here.
You know,
word.
Because when we celebrated, you know, that 50 years of hip hop,
right,
that was huge. But then when you think about it, you're like, wait, man, we were there for more than half of that.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
a lot of that.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Yes.
Because I couldn't remember when I'm like, you know, 3, 4,
I'm talking
5
about
years.
professionally.
Exactly.
Onyx was a part of that.
Yes, at least more than half.
Yes, more than half. Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
So when you look at it, man, this is the time, bro, where I love everything that's popping right now.
Yeah.
And wherever somebody, and I always say, man, wherever you get on that freeway at, that's your on ramp. So if somebody got on this on ramp today and they saying, oh, this is who I mess with, I understand that. But you got on the on ramp a little bit before.
Right.
And that's why I tell people now, don't think that the road didn't exist because you got on the on ramp right here.
It been going.
It's been going, bro.
And you know, I always like to look back and I keep like you said, I keep my ear to the streets. I love what's going on.
You sure in the hell do.
I love the new talent. I love what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That keeps me young. I'm a fan of hip hop forever.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? For real.
Hey, man, and what about when you got into acting?
Oh, man.
Yeah, because there was no time when I saw you acting where I was like, man, what the hell Fredro doing?
Yo. You know, acting, I never, like I said, I never went to acting class, man.
No plays when you were...
Well, you know what? There was one school play when I was in 6th grade, and I played the lion.
Yeah.
I played the Lion in the Wizard of Oz, and I remember because my
Oh,
mom.
so you was like number 2 on the call sheet.
Yeah, number 2 on the call sheet. Look, exactly. My mom's.
Yeah, I played tree in 5th grade.
My mom's. We had a mop. She had a mop like a mop, and we dyed it yellow, and I put it on my head. We had a yellow hoodie on, and I had a tail, and I came out. But I remember that play when I said, roar. When the Lion did the roar, everybody's just like, ah. I was like, wow, I got a reaction. That was my first time acting, but I never thought of to be an actor until one day, Jam Master Jay and Russell Simmons said, yo, there's an open audition for a movie called Strap, directed by Forrest Whitaker. So we went to the audition, the whole Onyx, me, Sticky, Big DS, Suave, we all went to the audition. And they told me to come back the next day. I tell Onyx, yo, they want me to come back. Onyx like, not mad, but you know.
Right.
Oh, but like, why you gotta come back?
Yeah, man. Hold on, does anybody call me?
So I go back the next day, and Bokeem Woodbine is there.
Oh my God.
So I meet Bokeem that day, and then we start doing lines together. And from that day, Forrest Whitaker was like, yo, if I give you this part, will you take it seriously? And I was like, yeah. And then I got the part to do the movie called Strap. My character was called Bamboo. I was selling guns. I was shooting guns, and that was my first time on a set. I didn't know what action was. I didn't know nothing.
Right. Hey, man, and that's one of those things where you say, like, throw them in the pool kind of thing.
Right.
You know, and if you ever been on a set, like, yeah, you don't know action. You don't know double action. You don't know atmosphere. You don't know how maybe I have to come back and re-loop this.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's also times like, man, can we just shoot it? Like, nah, we got to shoot this from this angle, from that. So you're learning everything that's setting you up for the next projects.
Yes.
That's coming up.
Yep. So Strap was the first thing, and then I did Sunset Park with Rhea Perlman and Danny DeVito and those
see,
guys over there.
even with that, man, now you even more with people that's not of the genre, that's different acting chops.
Exactly.
You know, and it's crazy because on the music video for Onyx, you show up, that's you.
Yeah.
But when you go into somebody else's world, now you're like, no, I got to know these lines. I got to know continuity. If I took my hat off here, like, it's a whole different study.
You know, people see movies. It's a lot that goes into it. Even the audition process of getting the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really want this movie, and a lot of times you get no. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times you do get yes, and when you do get yes, you take it full granted. Like, you gotta go out there and be like, yo, I'm gonna kill every scene. You know what I'm saying? You gotta study your lines, and you gotta, like, it's hard work. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. It may look easy, but it's not.
And then with your acting career too, man, maybe with Strapped, it was like the look, like, oh, okay, we gotta, everybody from Onyx come in, but you get it.
Yeah.
Right. And then after a while, it's not Onyx anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's Fredro Starr.
Yeah,
it's not like, you know what I mean? Like,
I had to step it. I mean, me personally, I started cutting hair in the barbershop.
Same.
That's how I really started, like, getting into the game and making money and staying out of trouble.
Yeah, I used to cut hair. I used to cut it right here on tour and everything. Oh, yeah.
Because I was the barber. I was the main barber in South Jamaica, Queens. I had guys coming from everywhere. I was doing designs. Keith Haring, I was doing the stickmans and all of that. I was doing a lot of that stuff. So, but that gave me the ability to talk to different people. Because everybody was coming in my chair. It gave me the people, how to talk to a lawyer, how to talk to a drug dealer, how to talk to it gave me the people skills. So I took that when I'm on acting, when I'm in a set, I know how to talk to the director, I know how to talk to the gaffer, or talk to the, you know what I'm saying, talk to another actress. So it just gave me people skills, you know what I'm saying, right from South Jamaica. I ain't had to go nowhere because they was coming to my chair. So I had to adjust my personality to meet different peoples in my chair to get that tip. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. And those I call them the enoughs. You got to be corporate enough, business enough, talk to the lawyer enough, talk to the drug dealer enough. Yeah.
So that was my school of just being a people person, and I took that into acting. You know what I'm saying? So if I got to be shorty doo-wop and play a basketball player, I know how to do that. Know how to talk. I know how to be around the set, be around people, and be just a good person. I'm just a good guy anyway.
Yeah, man.
Even though I play the bad boy role, I'm a good person.
Hey, man, and that's what I tell people. Character. He said for most until he like, I'm not offensive, but my defense is immaculate. Bring it to me. Something gonna happen.
When I fight great.
Right? Yeah, man. But then, did you turn down or couldn't do Dangerous Minds? Was that offered to you?
Yeah, I did. I had to turn it down because Leo Cohen was like, we got the Chronic tour, and there was a casting director named Bonnie Timberland. Never forgot her because she was ready to give me.
You kind of did right now. No, you didn't forget her, just the name a little bit.
Bonnie Timberland. she gave me the role, and she was like this big casting director, and she loved me, man. And I was on the set actually doing rehearsals with Michelle Pfeiffer.
So you went all the way.
All the way. I was on the set. I was doing rehearsals with Michelle Pfeiffer. So if you see Dangerous Mind, the black kid that comes up to her and he raises his hand at her, that was my part.
Do you watch that movie like, this motherfucker?
I watch every time I hear Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio, I'm like,
But do you feel like that was the one that got away, or do you feel like, man, I just had a different opportunity at that time?
The reason I do feel like it got away because I turned that down to get on a Chronic tour, and the Chronic tour only lasted for 5 tour dates because of something happened, whatever it was, and then it got shut down. So I feel like the tour that I was supposed to, it was supposed to be 30, like the whole country. You know what I mean?
This is a career move. This is us.
Yes. So that's the only reason why I feel like, damn, I wish I would have took that movie. But me, it's always the bros go first. If I gotta go on tour with Onyx at that time, I'm gonna pick the crew because I'm in Onyx.
Right.
And that was my decision. You know what I'm saying? Onyx comes first.
And the Chronic tour only did 5 days.
5 days, word.
Damn.
Somebody in Snoop Dogg camp did something and the tour got shut down. Yep. Shut down.
And ain't no way to call back now, huh?
That's it.
After that 5 days.
It's like, we already shot your scenes.
Like, shit. Like, man, that's when you be like, man, y'all need no atmosphere.
I know, right?
Yeah, but you know what, man? It comes with decisions at that moment, too.
No doubt.
And that's what they say, man. You got to step out on faith, even if you can't see the whole staircase.
No doubt. But everything happens for a reason, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, more power than
and you here though.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? So
we survivors.
Yeah,
we survivors to be doing it this long, man. People always say, yo, I'm like, I'm a survivor, man. Just a survivor of life. Just to be alive today. You know what I'm saying? I just feel blessed every day. Everybody should feel blessed when they wake up, because not everybody can wake up.
Yeah, that's real. And especially wake up and doing what you love, and
that's right.
You're breathing in air and everything, man. So we definitely get a head start.
Come on, man.
You got a lot of slashes too, though. Yeah. When we say hip hop artist, when we say icon, when we say legendary, we say actor, philanthropist, all kind of things that we could throw at you, and author. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, definitely.
What made you say, you know what, dude? Because I know even in interviews or just being anywhere for the last 32 years, you've had a lot of dialogue with people.
Yes.
So at some point, you can't meet everybody.
Right.
And tell the story.
That's right.
So now you say, you know what? I know how to tell the story.
That's right.
And I'm telling our story.
Right.
Is that why you did the book?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Can I see the book?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. The book is...
I love it.
Kept it soft cover so I could
Hell
keep it on
man.
tour. But the reason why I wrote the book, I saw Fat Joe. He had a book. I said, wow, okay. He got a book. Fat Joe been doing this for a long time. Respect, but we got a story too. We've been doing it for a long time. And I'm a writer. I always write scripts, books. And I said, let me write the story of Onyx, because I really don't think people know the real details of how this thing started. Because what we did in 1993 to come out of South Jamaica, Queens, and bring Hollis together and all of this, it was a phenomenal thing for hip hop. And I think I wanted to let people know the details, the real details. I don't sit with nobody. Nobody wrote it for me. I didn't sit with nobody and we do interviews and he writes the book. I wrote this book on every detail. I wrote this book. I wrote it. You know what I mean? So you get in the real, because a lot of times you might get somebody's story after they pass away.
Yeah, man.
So this is the real, I'm still here, I'm living. I'm gonna give you the real story, because if I'm not here, somebody give you the story, it's not gonna be accurate.
Right.
This is my vision.
And then we always see people that say, it's like an autobiography, but it's not really given.
Right.
And it's good that you tell your story, because there's times, man, when we think we know, even just sitting here for the last bit that we've been sitting here, there's things that I thought I knew.
Right.
That you just don't know, and it's up to you to tell us.
That's right.
And I think that's the reason why you'll sit down and you say, man, let me write. If anybody gonna write the Onyx story, we gotta write.
That's right. I'm gonna write it. So this is the first book. This is at the first album. I'm gonna write the second album, All We Got Is Us, and I'm gonna write the third album, Shut 'Em Down, which had DMX and Big Pun and Noriega on that.
So you already got it in your head. You already know.
Definitely. I'm already starting this. The second book is already started. This one ends at when we win the Soul Train Award for Best Rap Album in 1994 for Back the Fuck Up. We win the Best Rap Album on not BET, Soul Train Awards. Shout to Don Cornelius, you know what I'm saying?
What does that feel like, man? Not only when you say, man, we did this for us, we did this for people around the way, but then when the world recognizes and you start getting accolades, because you don't go in.
Right.
saying that. Sometimes you just want to hear the car coming out of somebody's sound system. Sometimes you just want to hear it in your headphones.
That's it.
Or even the homies just coming up and saying, hey, man, I heard that.
Right.
But then when you say, hold on, man, we got the world. And now we getting accolades and we getting nominated and we winning for being us.
Right.
And y'all didn't compromise. When you look at the name of the album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
the fuck up.
yeah, man. Like when you look at the name, like as a kid, somebody probably couldn't even go in. They'd be like, can I get the new Onyx album?
No, right?
You know,
a lot of people got beatings because of that album.
Yeah, hell, but you got to think, man. And when we fast forward, first I want people to do a rewind.
Right.
Of where hip hop was 32 years ago, 30 years ago. Because we could look at it now and we say, oh, you know, oh man, people talk about curses, people talk about smoking, people perking, all. Like there were times radio didn't play a lot of stuff. Video outlets wasn't kind to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Certain things that you see now.
Right.
And then there was no streaming, there was no this. So there was a corporate kind of game that you had to play as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you say we're going to call the album Back the Fuck Up and we're going to do it this way, like that is you being here and all of us going over to you.
Right.
As opposed to, you know, you crossing over, which crossover is beautiful because the crossover, they crossed over to y'all.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
We didn't cross over. They, like you said, they crossed over to us. And back the fuck, like at that time, Def Jam was like pushing it. And like I said, NWA kind of set the tone for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? With, you know, F the Police and all that, the way they was coming, you know, 100 miles of running, they kind of set the tone for you can be rebellious. And Public Enemy also, you know, fight the power. So it was just the next fight the power. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it.
Hey man, what did y'all feel when white boys start showing up?
Yo, it was crazy, like
tripping out.
Yeah, man.
Word.
Yeah.
It was the slam. They wasn't showing up at Throw Your Guns.
Right.
That was they started showing up when we did Slam.
Yeah.
That's when the white fans started coming out and we connected.
You was like, man, look at all these white bitches.
I know. Yo, we did MTV Beach House.
Yeah.
Yo, it was a lot of white girls.
Yeah, like, oh my God.
I was like, hey
man, and then the thing about it though is y'all were instantly recognizable. You know what I'm saying? Because there were times too where we'd see y'all like at a music conference in the lobby.
Right.
And you were instantly recognized.
You remember those conferences?
Oh my God,
remember
man.
that?
BET, Jack the Rapper, everything.
What's the
man.
one they had at was in the Bay Area?
New music seminar.
New music seminar, yeah,
man.
All
So
that's in the book. All that's in the book.
So you would see people, but y'all were highly recognized.
Yes.
So when y'all going like MTV or when y'all do shows like that, people know exactly who you are. And that's why when I say, man, when the white boys showed up, it was like, oh, okay.
Yo, that Slam record, man. We just, you know, they would show up and, you know, they come to the show, they slam dancing. I was like, yo, we kind of like rock and roll.
Yeah.
Because we got what Biohazard was a punk band and they did the remix and we did the Judgment Night. We kind of went into that Beastie Boys rock and roll flow. But, you know, Run DMC, they been in that.
Yeah, man.
They've been doing the guitars with Rick Rubin and all of that. We was kind of just babies of Run DMC and they sound, and that was automatically
Let me
gonna
tell you
happen.
what's crazy about Run DMC and Aerosmith. I had never heard of Walk This Way until it was introduced to me from Run DMC.
Wow.
Same
And
here.
you got to think, man, with Run DMC and Aerosmith, and anybody, they can challenge me, whatever. But Aerosmith wasn't on radars. And I'm not talking about black radars or hip hop radars. Aerosmith, they would tell you as well that record, Walk This Way, sparked them back up.
Sparked them right up.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right up. Hip hop.
Yeah. So when you see like a Jay-Z in Linkin Park, when you see, you know, a Public Enemy tearing it down with I forgot who they did, bring the noise with.
Bring the Noise, yeah.
Yeah, but when you saw this marriage that had already been going down, and y'all were a part of that.
Definitely.
With them coming over and y'all saying, hey, yeah, we could do this because you saw the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We knew because, you know, Jam Master Jay was like, yo, you guys are my black Beastie Boys. You know what I'm saying? You guys are wild like that. You know, we had that wild style. And I'm going to tell you, when we brought the album to Def Jam, we didn't have the Slam record on it. We thought the album was finished. We had Throw Your Guns, Shifty. So we listening to the album. Mike Kaiser was the radio guy at the time, you know what I'm saying? And Leo, we all listening to it. Tracy Waples, we all listening to it. It's dope, but y'all don't got that. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg got radio records, man. Where y'all radio record? We walked out of there defeated, like, oh my God. So then it took us a while to come with the Slam record.
How long is a while?
Probably like maybe a month after that.
Damn, so that felt long.
Because we was going to the studio, we was just trying different things. And then one time, I saw Nirvana, and they had a record called "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and they had a video. In this video, they had to do slamming, and they was doing the mosh pits in the video, and I was like, what if we bring this to hip hop? I mean, Criss Cross is doing jump, House of Pain doing jump around. We gonna bring slam to hip hop. We gonna make everybody slam, and everybody agreed. So we had the idea first. Okay, we gonna make people slam in hip hop. Now we need the record, and we just heard this record called Tom's Diner. That was in the atmosphere, and then we put the jam. All those elements came together, and we made slam. Let the boys be boys. Slam. You know what I mean? That's all came together.
Blown. Oh my God!
It was like we was cooking.
I
up
just
stew.
got goosebumps.
We was
right
cooking
now,
up
bro.
gumbo. You know what I'm saying? Shot Skills made the beat, and that's how it happened.
When it's early stages though, and you hearing the and when y'all working on the chorus, do you feel like it's starting to write itself?
Yes, we put it all together. It just came together. You know
The
what I'm
slam y'all made that night, is it the slam that we hear like today?
Same record.
So the energy is already there.
Same record. And this. I'm gonna tell you about slam. I think slam might be, and I think we should definitely try to figure this out. What is the most licensed song in hip hop? Because I think slam is number one.
Really?
Definitely. Because when we made slam, we didn't think about basketball or sports.
Right.
So once basketball got a hold of it
Oh,
in sports,
my God.
Then it was an NBA 2K video game. It was a Major League Baseball video game. It's been in movies with Ice Cube. We just got a Volkswagen commercial. Like it's being like it's the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, do you ever? I'm about to say back up. That would sound corny, but do you ever back up and think like, man, this is me. Like this is us. When you talk about every sports genre that had a reference to slam,
wrestling,
everything.
It's been in every video game. Do your Googles, believe me. It's been. I mean, because every time they played in an arena, every time they played in a sports arena, we get paid basically every time. Radio, commercials, it's just that record is the one. You know
Hey man, and it's wild because when you say we were at Def Jam and we had what we thought was the album, and then they tell you like you got it, but this ain't it, and you say y'all walked out defeated, and you see how things work.
Yeah,
man, it's that one that you came back with and said, "Ah, man, is this what y'all looking for?"
We work better under pressure. You know what I'm saying? And I've always worked better under pressure. When it's pressure, it's time to go. And I always got to bring Jam Master Jay. He was the one to make everything come together. Like we had a special guy. You know what I'm saying? In Jay. You know what I'm saying? He's like Jay was like the East Coast Dr. Dre.
Right.
How y'all feel about Dr. Dre in the West Coast? Worldwide, how we feel about Dre, that was Jam Master Jay. He just got taken a little bit too early. You know what I'm saying? He was only 36 when he passed.
Ain't that crazy though, bro?
He was a baby. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I remember, dude, like Jam Master Jay. I remember he was the first one to ever mention the Pharcyde.
Probably because he knew.
And we remembered though because he was on I think it was something on MTV, and he was like, "Yeah, the Pharcyde. When they get out there and they start jumping around and doing all these dance moves, we were like, oh,
we love the Pharcyde."
And I remember, dude, we did a record, a show in the Bay Area, right? And Run DMC was headlining. And when the Pharcyde came out, I remember Mark Love, and they were out there, man. It was an outdoor venue, and I remember the wind kept catching not the wind, but the turntables kept moving.
Yeah.
And I remember Jam Master Jay told DJ Mark Love, he was like, "No, man," he said, and he told him, "You got to get these on springs, you got to get this on this," you know. And sure enough, bro, it changed what we saw in a live show, and those are just jewels. He could have sat there and said, "Man, these kids gonna be fun."
You take those jewels and you put it in your bracelet,
and it worked. And it worked, bro. You know what I'm saying? See? And that's the dude. He always gave game. Always. And Jam Master Jay would come and holler at me when he had no project. You know what I'm saying? Just like, "Hey, Big, I'm in town," so on and so forth. And he's just one of those dudes. And you got to think, man. We saw with Jam Master Jay with Run DMC. We saw it with Afros. We saw it with Onyx. You know, we like he was so tapped in on this lifestyle that sometimes I'll tell people like, man, he wasn't a DJ. He wasn't just a band.
That's right.
Like that dude was he knew how to create brands. And when you say 36, man, that's so much greatness.
Crazy.
Before 36.
Crazy, man.
You know,
Definitely.
and then the way that brother was taken out, such a giver, man.
Nah, man. And it happened in Queens and you know
Home plate.
Yeah, man, hood jealousy, you know, it happens.
We've seen it.
Yeah, you know, it's just it's sad that we're the only genre of music that really goes through this. I mean, like rock and roll guys, they don't go through this, and you know,
right.
R&B guys don't go through it.
Man.
Not that much, but you know what I'm saying. But it's just crazy what hip hop is. You gotta hate it or love it, and you gotta just take it for what it is.
Hey man, this is probably hard for you to answer because it's hard for me because I don't have it. But do you have a hip hop Mount Rushmore?
Oh man.
And then how do you break it down? Do you break it down to groups? Like this is one of those where you get in the car.
I think so. Mount Rushmore is only 4 people, right? I would break it down in eras.
Right, okay.
Because you have different eras. Like you said, it's 50 years of hip hop. So just say 10 years. Each you have a guy for each 10 years, right? So the first 10 years, who was the guy? Like who was the first from when it was born to 10 years later?
I put Curtis.
All right, so Curtis Blow. All right, he has to be on the Mount Rushmore. Then you got the Run.
This is where it started to get tricky. At.
so is it the night? Does it go to the 80s era or the 90s? So this is the 80s era now, right?
Yeah, this is where you kind of
so
on
now
your own,
we'll go to the
Fredro.
80s era. So we got to put Rakim, right?
Right.
Okay, we got to put Rakim for the 80s.
Okay,
era, right?
I wouldn't argue Rakim.
All right, well, you got LL.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane.
You know what I'm saying?
There's
like,
a few.
do we go story? I just saw one with storytellers, and I was like, "Ooh, that's genius."
No, LL's been he's.
Yeah.
But you know,
maybe we shouldn't answer this.
No,
Okay,
we got,
okay, go ahead.
No, this is the formula. So now we got Rakim. So now it's the 90s. Who we got for the 90s?
Ooh,
you got you got the Jay-Z's, you got the Biggies, you got the Tupacs, you got the Nas's. Me personally, I'm gonna go with Nasir Jones.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Personally, you know what I mean? But this is my list. You know
right.
So we got Curtis Blow, Rakim, Nas. So now we got the next era will be the new guys. So who would be the new guy? I would say.
Are we going from 2000 up until today?
Yes.
Ooh, so you probably taking 25 years.
I would have to put Future.
What?
I don't know. I mean,
what about Kendrick?
But right. This is the whole whatabouts.
And Kendrick would.
These are the whatabouts. You know, without even saying Kendrick, let me tell you why. Without saying Kendrick. I was not surprised in a different way or disrespectful way. I was surprised you said Future.
I was surprised too, but I think, but I think as like culturally, I think he's culturally the guy. You know what I mean? Like,
hey man, my Mount Rushmore would have to be if I went from 20 to 25. As a year, I would have to have all of them.
Right.
I would have to have 10, 15 spots.
Nah,
because even when I go through the Big Daddy Kanes, the Rakims, the Chuck D's, then you know, right. And then if I go through the Ice T's, the Ice Cubes, the you know the
you have to have my Mount Rushmore for every like section.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Maybe I'll set you up. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
everybody
Watch
got
this be the one thing everybody takes. You know what I'm saying? We done talked about hip hop and talked about love. Right. Watch this be the one thing like
I know, right?
Fredro from Onyx said, you know what I'm saying?
Future.
Yeah, it's gonna be somebody in Queens be like, come on, son. Hey man, right. Yeah. Even Ed Lover gonna come. Ed Lover be like, come on, son. You know
all right, so you know what? I would have to put Drake then, because Drake mentioned my name in his song. Right. So he would have to get that from me, respectfully.
Even Mariano's like, what?
Yeah, Drake mentioned my name.
But like lyrically,
like Fredro Starr. I gotta
give
go
me
with
that
him.
shovel back. Give me Fredro. Give me the shovel because you digging yourself deeper in. Just give me the fucking shovel.
I know I'm in LA. I'm not supposed to.
Not even LA. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just worried about you. Just period.
Respectfully, no. And I will say this: Kendrick Lamar is incredible for what he's done for the culture. To perform at the Super Bowl, you can't get no bigger than that. And I love all hip hop. I love everybody.
But you know what's even crazy
for
about
different
that?
reasons.
There was no Eminem in there. See, you're gonna get in the car.
Oh man, you know Eminem? Yeah, he might be the.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but see, Eminem is. I would have to pick Eminem over Nas then, and I'm not. I can't do that.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Right.
Even though, and then
hey man, he went like this. No.
Eminem put Last Days, a song I produced for Onyx, in the 8 Mile movie.
Right.
So I respect Eminem on that level too. So you know, but
that's why I say this is hard. Hey, dude, that's why I go on other platforms. They be like, "Give me your top 5," and I be like, "Nope."
All right, take the Nas out. We play Eminem.
Right. we gonna do this, man. We just gonna make a mountain Rushmore.
Word.
Yeah, just like not just a mountain. It's a mountain Rushmore,
Right.
And we just don't because it's too near and dear.
It's too many great artists out here, and I love hip hop. Like I said, it's a lot of great artists, and I love it for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? So that's a hard question.
Yeah, it is.
Even
man.
top 5 that are alive, like 5, 4. Come on, we need a 50.
Right.
Give me top 50.
I would even struggle on 50 because there's sometimes, man, when I'm going through something, I listen to something, I'm like, oh,
I forgot him. Word.
Like we were just talking about Guru this morning, right?
Oh yeah, Guru.
And I was like, and then sometimes, man, when you hear of the top 5 dead or alive,
right?
There's some names I'm like, man, they're not even in there,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Guru we was good.
Yeah, man.
He was nice.
Yeah,
That's my boy Keith,
and then
man.
I saw one with storytellers, right? And they had like Slick Rick, they had Biggie. It was a few of them, but then also I'm thinking like, man,
Ice Cube.
Yeah, Cube.
What?
I'm thinking
Today was
even
a good day. He was
story.
one of the illest storytellers. Come on, son. That was top, maybe top.
And
I would say Ice Cube and Slick Rick as far as storytellers.
right. And then I throw Dana Dane in there.
Oh yeah, come on.
This is getting ridiculous, man.
Never gonna end.
This is getting ridiculous, man.
So you know real hip hop.
When's your birthday? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, we just gonna go light, man. So when's your birthday?
April 18th.
I heard that,
1971.
man.
I got the same birthday as Spliff Star.
Oh,
same
really
exact day, same year, everything is
They
crazy.
must have been handing out double energy that year.
I know, and his name is Spliff Star. I'm
Yeah.
Fredro Starr. I'm like, yo, what's going on
Hey
here?
man, Spliff is one of those when you see Spliff and Buster together.
Yeah.
Oh, they could be. You could put a divider between them, and they'll both be on the same
Show
thing.
is crazy.
Yeah,
Insane
Yeah, man.
show. They got a good show.
Was that important to you guys too about the show?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Like, they got a great show. Onyx we have a great show, and I look at guys like that. I look at guys like Tribe Called Quest and
man.
Ice Cube.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did a show with Q. He one day we thought we was those dudes.
Yeah. and Cube would
Yo,
come
I
out.
was like, oh my
Cube,
god.
he hit his vocals like what
Oh
he
my
sold to
Lord,
you.
Jesus Christ.
You know?
He got the records, man.
And no dancers.
He got
You
those
know what I'm saying?
records. Guys like KRS One,
Yeah,
these
man.
guys are great performers. And Onyx, we hold pride in being great performers, man.
Are y'all legends?
We are legends.
You damn
on
right
stage,
y'all
for
legends,
sure.
man.
We legends because we
Period.
survived the game this long. You know what I mean? That's what makes a legend. A legend can survive the storms, survive the ups and downs of the industry, and survive life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That
man.
makes you. If you over 50, you're a legend. I
Right.
don't care who you are and what you do in life. You made it to 50, you a legend.
Hey man, when you look at the road that you guys have traveled, right? And there's so much road ahead of you. What's next when it comes to either Fredro Starr, Onyx, the author, Fredro, the actor?
Well,
just everything, bro.
Well, I'm gonna direct my first movie called The Tunnel. It's a loose description of the tunnel, the club in New York City.
Okay, gotcha.
It was a true story, and a true story. It's about these two kids who from Long Island. They go into the tunnel. They go through the projects to make a shortcut, and they get chased through the projects. They get lost in the projects. It's kind of like the New Warriors. And it's called The Tunnel, and I'm gonna direct that. Like Forrest Whitaker directed his first film, Strap. This is my first time directing. You know what Forrest did? He found some new talent. He found new stars. I'm trying to do the same thing with this. It's his TV series called The Tunnel. I'll be directing it in June in New York City. So yeah.
Is that a passion for yours too? Did you always look at the videos that you guys are doing, and even when you're on set and you're learning, and everything is tuition into the school of experience.
Yeah,
you
school
know
of
what I'm saying?
experience. Like I never went to NYU like some people for film school or be a director, but I've been on the other side of the camera so long. I said, let me try my hand at directing because I have an aesthetic. That's the word, aesthetic.
Go ahead now.
I have an aesthetic for vision. You know what I mean? And I want that to transcend on film. And like I said, I write movies, I write books, TV shows, and it's just something else I want to do.
How long did y'all do Moesha? How long did you do Moesha?
Oh, that was cool. We did it for 2 seasons.
Really though?
Yeah,
And that's
2
a lot of
seasons.
work.
And then Usher took my spot.
Goddamn Usher.
Damn, Ush.
Usher, man, this guy,
This cherry fading
He's
motherfucker.
like marriages and like everything. Is you go to Usher concert, you might not have your wife.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Like, man, get them goddamn cherries away from my wife.
This guy, man.
Yeah,
So,
but Usher's another veteran and relevant at the same
definitely.
time.
So, Moesha was cool, man. We was on the set, you know what I mean? It was a good feeling. And just to be a part of that family, coming from New York,
Right.
coming to the Moesha set and being on set every day with Ray J and Brandy and Hakeem. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to Hakeem and Adele. She passed away too. So, Moesha was a big part of my life, and it was just. And matter of fact, Moesha's on Tubi now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Hey,
tap
man,
in.
ain't it crazy though, man? That something that you did could last a lifetime.
Lifetime.
And people come in. You got to think, man. There's people at Onyx shows that weren't even born.
Wow, I know.
There's people at festivals watching you guys that wasn't even born. It's
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And it, like I say, it's when they pick it up or when they get on that on ramp.
Forrest Whitaker told me when we was doing Strap, he said, now you're going to do this scene, right? And I just want to let you know, movies are forever. So what you do right now, it's going to be forever. He gave me that jewel. So every time they say action, I give it my best. You know what I'm saying? Because I know this is gonna be there forever. Just same when you in the studio, that take that you said, okay, when you come out the booth and you satisfied with your verse, that's the verse that's gonna be there forever.
Right.
This is the take that's gonna be there forever when you're on the screen. So I took that into consideration.
It's crazy that you listen to that because when you say forever, we think of a forever. And now that we know, like with social, we didn't even know any of this internet stuff was coming. So now forever is like forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. Like it's real now. It's real. Because now this shit that pop back up, you be like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I had those on.
Like,
Look at my hair.
You like, man, that forever is forever, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
so you look at it now and you could understand it then, but you probably overstand it now.
Yeah, I mean, I look back at it. You don't, because when you doing what you doing as far as acting, movies, and going to the studio or tour, you don't look at it like, oh, I'm doing this. It's a continue. Your day is just continuing.
Right.
But when you look back, like, yo, 30 years. Damn, I got this many movies. Damn, I got this. I didn't even know. Like, you know what I mean? Because it was just part of your life. And me personally, I don't hang my hat on that. I just live my life day to day. That's my thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't put that in your face. I don't do that. I just live my life day to day. What's next? I don't really look at what I did. It's what I'm gonna do.
Do you get recognized everywhere you go? And you said sometimes people call out Sticky.
Yeah,
but
the brand I get recognized a lot. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I might be somewhere and a white lady be looking at me and I be like, fuck she?
Yeah.
I don't know why she looking at me. This is how I was just in the store the other day. She was like, were you in Save the Last Dance? I was like, yeah. She was like, I knew it.
Hey man, isn't it crazy where people know you from?
And I'm like, I'm thinking she looking at me because maybe she thought I robbed her.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean?
It's crazy you don't know where they know you from though.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Hey,
a lot
what
of
if she
different
would have
directions.
came up to you like, hey, San Francisco 19.
Oh, it was you?
You're like, damn, you didn't look like that back then. Jesus Christ, give me that
Did the
goddamn
kid is
backstage.
half black?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like, wait a minute.
Hell yeah, with a bald head.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, man.
You got my nose.
But that's crazy, man. When you can look back at it and say, man, it's been a great run,
Definitely.
and it continues to be such a great
Keeps
run,
going,
bro.
man. Yeah, it's been a great run, and I'm grateful, man. You know, like I said, it's been a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, of course, that's life.
Yeah, that's life, man. And life is for living.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm doing, just living life, you know what I'm saying? Raising my 3 kids, my 3 boys. Got 3 sons in California. I'm out here chilling and just giving back to the culture anytime I can. I'm producing beats because I love doing beats too. I love producing beats. So that keeps me sane, just doing my production, doing beats and working with my label 100 Mad, you know what I'm saying? We booking our own shows now. We're self-efficient. We learned a lot, you know?
Man.
We big boys now.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're a young rapper, if you want to be in hip-hop, holla at me. Tap in with my IG. I'm active, you know what I mean? And I love new talent. I love this.
I can tell you do, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? One thing sitting here for the last hour, there's nothing bitter in you. And not that I want to put that on anybody.
Right.
But you know, sometimes, you know, people say, oh, they old heads and they bitter or somebody, and then you will see somebody that's bitter.
Yeah.
But you like, man, I check in with everything and everybody.
Yeah, man. I
Like
hate.
you're a student and a teacher.
Yeah,
of this shit.
exactly. So, I mean, some things I don't like in hip hop.
Right.
Like,
But that's
hip-hop
always been
like that. We always had
Right. Which I love that one.
No, but I mean,
yeah.
yeah, but there was always whackness in hip hop.
Right.
No, but that was a good record.
Yeah.
That one was good.
But you got to think, like we say, there's always been something.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
we were like, I don't know.
Exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like, I
Every
don't
era.
know.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
you know, I always keep my ear to the streets, and I like new music.
Right.
You know?
And everything isn't for everybody.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Everything isn't for everybody. It is not supposed to be.
You got to know where to find it.
Yeah,
You know
you
what I'm
know?
saying? To me, hip hop my hip hop that I love faded, you know, the South came in and, you know, that whole thing and kind of like the New York vibe kind of died off. But when you mentioned the 50 years of hip hop, I think that was the 360 of real rap coming back.
Right.
You know
We
what I'm
seeing it
saying?
now, too.
Yeah, because now I'm doing shows with I ain't never do a show with MC Shan until last year.
Right.
50 years of hip hop. And it just brought the old school back and just that old flavor back. And now people wearing baggy jeans now.
Yeah, man.
The tight jean era is over. We back to baggy clothes. I love it.
Hey, man, and you know one thing that I also noticed, too, man, is that we came back to lyrics.
Right, lyrics.
Because at one point, man, it started to get a little goofy.
Yo.
And people were telling you.
People was crying on records. We even came up with something called mumble rap.
Right.
Like, where they do that at?
What
You know what
the
I'm saying?
hell?
Like, when this mumble rap is, come on, you know you need to restart it.
Right.
Now you got this girl, what's her name? Doechii. And
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Doechie's
yeah.
a beast.
She's the Kendrick Lamars and the Griselda, what they did for hip hop, the Conways and the West Side Guns and they whole era. And now what we do on my label, 100 Mad, we just continue on the real hip hop.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about right now. Express yourself with lyrics. You go on IG, you see TikTok, you see lyricists now, and no more mumble rap. You got to be good now. We
And
get
you know
back
what?
to the skills.
I think that when people say mumble rap, I think that they throw certain things into just a pot.
Right.
Or they just throw it because there's some people that'll say, oh, that's all mumble rap. But then I'm like, oh, hold on, man. Like, really? Migos is mumble rap?
No, Migos was good.
Exactly.
No, Migos was good.
So Future, so it scares me when people, and I don't want people to look at it the wrong way.
those guys were exceptional.
Yeah.
They were like they set
But it's
the
this
whole,
broad stroke that people think
Right.
that you probably throwing somebody into, and it's not the case.
Right.
The same way I would see someone and they're like, oh, you know, I'm pissing on my platinum plaques and I only been rapping for a second. It wasn't of respect to certain things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't of respect. And that's why I say it looked like lyrics are coming back, respect is coming back. That's what I'm looking at too,
skills,
man. Yeah. Skills.
That's what we came in the game. I love the skills, man. The Rakims, like I said, the Big Daddy Kanes, they had the skills.
Yeah, man.
And we from that club. You know what I mean? And it's still going
and
on
still
right now.
can perform to this day.
Yep.
Get a microphone, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I love it, man. And I love what's popping now, and I'm active.
I
I'm
see
active.
you, man.
I'm out there, bro.
I see you. I just saw you with my man Cole Mega. You was at the they had some party. I was like, oh, look a big boy with my man. You know what I'm saying? You still out here.
Oh, yeah.
Still doing your thing. You active in the hood.
Got to.
And you know what? Ask you a question. Do you still do the prank calling?
Oh yeah.
Yo, my God.
Phone taps.
Yeah,
I
the phone
love
taps.
the phone taps,
Thank
bro.
you, brother. Thank you. Don't
Come
let me get
on.
your number before you leave here. I'll wait, man. I'll wait till your 65th birthday.
Yo, the phone taps is incredible. Yo, like you was ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Like they doing that. You was ahead of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For
You
years.
know, I'm gonna back up so I don't get in your way. Go ahead.
Nah,
please.
but for
As
real,
yours.
when you talk about like legends and somebody who's doing radio, Big Boy, and what you've done for the culture is legendary because you are the culture.
Thank you,
I had
brother.
to come see you because there's no higher. There's no roof.
Thank you.
are the roof. The helicopter is flying from your top. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
There's
you.
no up. This is it. And I just feel,
Man.
I just caught a chill being here. You know what I mean? And I feel grateful to be here because it's just, you know, hip hop. I have a lot of people who ain't here. A lot of I can say rest in peace for 20 minutes right now.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? To rappers who ain't here that I know, and people that I know ain't here, and just to be here alive to talk to you and Big Boy in the Morning, your whole crew. This is
Man, thank you. Thank you
Phenomenal.
for showing up and blowing up, man. And thank you for everything that you have given us, man. You know, even before radio, just what the feelings that
Right.
y'all gave to us, the great times that y'all gave to us, man, and also the inspiration knowing that, man, if they did it, we can do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like I say, man, like I was a fan. I was going to shows before I got into radio, trying to sneak on a list or coming in with the Pharcyde or something like that. So for us to sit here and continue to build, man.
yeah.
Fredro, this is my pleasure to have you in the neighborhood, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man.
And thank you for hanging out with us,
Thank
man.
you, man.
All righty.
Pleasure.
Fredro Starr in the neighborhood, Big Boy neighborhood.